Hello and welcome back to Text Talk. Today we have a gripping analysis to delve into, exploring the enthralling realm of intertextuality through the short story The Things by Peter Watts. We'll be investigating how Watts, through adaptation, conveyed a thought-provoking fresh perspective of John W. Campbell's 1938 novella, Who Goes There? But first, what is intertextuality? Intertextuality is the interplay and interconnectedness between different texts, where the meaning of one text is shaped or influenced by its relationship with others. To elucidate, intertextual links are allusions that bridge one text to another, providing additional context to help readers form a comprehensive understanding of the writing. Now let's pair back to The Things. The source material for The Things is the story of Who Goes There, about a team of Antarctic researchers met by a chilling, shape-shifting alien lifeform who threatens to morph into and assimilate them all. The researchers, much like humanity itself, are forced to confront the choice of self-destruction to prevent the insidious spread of the unknown. On the contrary, in The Things, Watts conducted explicit intertextuality on Campbell's story, crafting a homogeneous anecdote, however this time from the perspective of the alien entity. By reimagining the story from this perspective, it flips the tale on its head and forces any preordained notions to be rendered useless. We are so used to seeing the world through the eyes of humans, but what happens when we become the supernatural antagonist? Do our views remain the same? By changing the narrative structure through a perspective switch, Watts attempts to shift the way we see the supposed heroes. The human's unwavering determination to survive at all costs is directly replicated by the alien, resulting in an unyielding pursuit for both sides to live. Flipping our grip on perspective acts as a conduit for redefining our ethical viewpoints. By giving the thing the coherent objective of survival, it tugs at our empathy and morality, asking, is either really worse than the other? Is the violent behaviour of the parasite warranted to survive by any means? These questions of good and evil are uncovered due to the thematic links between the texts. If you were to read only one text, your bias would be magnetised to the poles of the protagonist. However, by reading both texts, you are giving an ethical reason for both parties' actions. This is exemplified when looking at the initial discovery of the alien after the crash in both texts. In Campbell's text, there is an innate focus on the astonishment and trepidation of the humans in knowing they are no longer alone on the icy continent. This relation is illustrated when the text states, "He backed away, trembling, he dropped the case of microscopes, and turned and ran, scattering the astonished crew members in his flight." This portrays the author's focus on delineating a demeanour of fear towards the antagonised supernatural creature. So whilst one story paints the alien as a callous and dark figure, does Watts' story bring light to its actions? Yes, conversely to Campbell's plot, Watts paints the alien not as a scary and violent entity, but as one driven by fear and isolation. Campbell's text symbolises this seclusion by depicting the crashed UFO entrapped under ice. However, Watts creates an intertextual link by further explaining this solitude, not just as a reason that the alien is here, but a motive for the alien's fear of survival. As articulated by Watts, we were not wanted on this earth, we were not welcome, we were not a thing like the others. This is what I learned, this is what I feared. This excerpt gives the alien a sense of humanity that isn't shown in Campbell's text, which is that whilst the alien may be a different species, it still has the same feeling of vulnerability that fuels all of us humans, emotion. With all things considered, what does this actually mean for the overarching story? Whilst the stories follow identical plot lines, the divergent perspectives form an unparalleled portrayal of the storyline. The intertextual link that interconnects a dual perspective narrative is vital to understanding the text's characters and plot in its entirety. Watts' story develops the Thing's character from an aggressive shape-shifting alien to an organism fighting for survival in a foreign world swamped in fear, creating a more holistic character that is only enabled through the culmination of both storylines, depicting the alien's actions and motives. Whilst this is imperative to understanding the novel and short story, how does Peter Watts convey this through literary and intertextual techniques? Peter Watts uses multiple techniques to create thematic links between Campbell's portrayal of aggressive behaviours and the motives of the Thing through the plotline. He does this to supply an ethical justification for the immoral actions in Campbell's novella, giving the alien more depth of character and a more humane connection to the reader. One way he pushes the theme of the alien's identity is by showing its lack of understanding of human behaviour and ethics. He explores this through documenting the alien's psychological journey to imitating the human qualities of the crew, stating, "Survival depended on blending in, and it was not enough to merely look like this world. I had to act like it, and for the first time in living memory, I did not know how." This idea shows that it is uncommon for the shapeshifter to struggle with imitating qualities. with the complexity and unpredictability of humans troubling his imitation. By doing so in the first-person perspective, it further strengthens the reader-alien bond by drawing on the alien's human-like qualities with emotive language. Referring back to the intertextual links of the original anecdote aids in comprehending this notion, as the humans exhibited impulsive and unpredictable behaviour under the stress brought about by the alien presence. This acts as a connection between the morality of the crew and the alien. McGrady, the leader of the crew, murders 3 innocent members, thinking they'd been assimilated, under the stress of losing his identity, his life. The alien too committed bloodshed multiple times while striving to survive. This ambiguity of both the alien in Watts' story and the human character in Campbell's novella provides a pivotal intertextual link in understanding the good and evil of both parties. Watts artistically painted the misunderstanding of human ethics through the use of vulgar vocabulary. This crude lexicon helps in showing how the alien doesn't understand that certain things are taboo on Earth's planet. This could act as an explanation for a plethora of its immoral behaviours displayed in the original novella. An example of this is when the alien was thinking about assimilating the entire crew and used vulgar language. These poor things will never embrace salvation. I'll have to rape it into them. This portrays that whilst the alien could imitate the human, it could never truly understand their potent nuances. This misunderstanding acts as a caveat to the aggressive nature of the alien, as misunderstanding leads to fear, and fear leads to aggression. Overall, Watts' work not only contributes to justifying the alien's actions, but questions our stronghold on what is truly moral. The writings uncover that whilst the alien and the humans were vastly different, their situations were almost identical in nature. By using literary devices, author Peter Watts was able to strengthen the thematic links between the two perspectives and make clear that whilst the humans were potentially ethical, perhaps the alien too was moral from its point of view.